Come scrapbook with me while I talk about Vocaloid Luo Tianyi. Tianyi is the first Chinese Vocaloid. She released in 2012 during the Vocaloid 3 era, and was developed by a company called Shanghai Hennian in collaboration with B. Platts. In 2011, Shanghai Hennian made an announcement that they wanted to make a Chinese Vocaloid. Now, at the time, you only had two languages available for Vocaloid, Japanese and English. The Vocaloid 3 era was notorious for having fans design Vocaloids via a contest. This was called the Vocaloid China Project. Of the Vocaloid China Project, there were 5 winners. 5 completely fan-made Vocaloids. And then Shanghai Hennian had to get a corporate on them. The winning design that would later become Tianyi was a character called Yayin Gongyu. This is the winning design. Shanghai Hennian swooped in and made some changes to the design. They also changed the name so it wasn't that Krypton-like. It was really important to them that they were not recreating Hatsune Miku. Yayin Gongyu was changed to Luo Tianyi. The other 4 winners also went through some design changes and had their names changed as well, but we're going to focus on Tianyi here. Tianyi released in July of 2012 and is arguably the most popular Vocaloid. Wait. Bear with me here. She's the most popular Vocaloid in China. And given the population of China, and how absolutely everywhere Tianyi is in China, Tianyi is more everywhere in China than Miku is in Japan. Tianyi is arguably the most popular Vocaloid. Now obviously Miku is Miss Worldwide, so Miku has more popularity globally. When I say Tianyi is big in China, I mean she is like a celebrity there. Like, no, Miku is just a cute anime character. Tianyi is virtual Beyonce. She is virtual Chappelle Roan. Companies in China pay for the copyright to collaborate with her. Like Pizza Hut, they did a collaboration with her and her friends. Beverages, makeup, tampons, Tianyi's seen it all. If you're familiar with the game Genshin Impact, then you might be familiar with their marketing in China, because they also do a lot of collaborations with like car companies, restaurant chains, jewelry companies. It's the same kind of marketing thing that's happening with Tianyi. That being said, she's extremely loved in China. Vocaloid 3 was a brand new era for Vocaloid, and as such, the marketing was really intense during the early V3 days. And Vocaloid China was a really big deal back then. The Chinese community was really experiencing like the peak of Vocaloid. China was a bit behind us in terms of fandom. They got their first Vocaloid 8 years after the very first Vocaloid ever dropped. So in terms of fandom and content, the Chinese Vocaloid community was kind of going through their own Vocaloid 2 phase. They absolutely fell in love with Vocaloid China and Tianyi. In 2014, Shanghai Hennian changed the name of Vocaloid China to Vocanese. This name change only lasted a year before they decided on V-Singer. So now all the Chinese Vocaloids from Shanghai Hennian are just called V-Singers. That's the name of their character series. You can think of it as almost like a band name. In 2016, Shanghai Hennian mentioned that they wanted to make a Vocaloid 4 update for Tianyi. And at the very end of 2017, they made this a reality. Tianyi got a Vocaloid 4 update alongside a Japanese voice bank, making Tianyi bilingual in both Mandarin and Japanese. Vocaloid 4 was the era of growl and cross-synthesis. Cross-synthesis is a function that allows users to blend 2 voice banks together, which is why most Vocaloids in Vocaloid 4 actually had multiple voice banks. Tianyi had 2. She had her Hmong voice bank, which was basically her standard voice bank, and then she had her Ning voice bank, which was kind of more... Thank you, San Diego. Then she had her Ning voice bank, which was a bit more powerful than her standard. As for the Japanese voice banks, so back in 2012, Shanghai Hennian announced that Tianyi would be getting a Japanese voice bank that was slated for October of that year. That fell through, and the project got pushed back and back and back. They actually had some recordings for her Japanese voice bank back in 2012, but then in 2013 they canceled the project. So then we flash forward to 2017, where she actually got her Japanese voice bank idealized finally. During the V-Singer live concert in 2017, that's where they not only announced, but showcased Tianyi's Japanese voice banks. Her Japanese voice banks would release in May of 2018, a few months after her Vocaloid 4 update for her Chinese banks. Tianyi had 2 Japanese voice banks, normal and sweet. Now, Tianyi's Japanese voice banks are really interesting because they're blended of 2 voice providers. Her Chinese voice provider, Shanxin, as well as a Japanese Utaite named Kano. Okay, we flash forward to 2020. Between 2020 and 2022, 2 things were happening with Tianyi. A Vocaloid 5 voice bank and an AI voice bank. The V5 voice bank would kind of linger in limbo for a while. They were using it for concerts and live events, and they had dropped the design for Tianyi V5. But when was the voice bank going to come out? Who knows? It's up in the air. As for the AI voice bank, that actually went onto a completely different engine called A-Studio. Now, I know of A-Studio, but I don't know much about it. It's a completely different software and engine from Vocaloid. Tianyi also got a new design for that AI voice bank. Now, what about her Vocaloid 5 voice bank? What happened to that? Because in 2022, V6 rolled around and little Tianyi V5 was nowhere to be seen. So what happened to it? Well, in February of 2023, it released just kind of out of the blue. Everyone who pre-ordered her just got her very suddenly. No announcement, just here you go. Vocaloid 5 voice bank in the Vocaloid 6 era. It was Tianyi's turn to be fashionably late. Anyway, I like half of this spread. Vocaloido!